WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
The longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Because that's what this show's about. That's what we've been doing for over 16 years.
No. It's about sports entertainment.
And now, here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Will you stop marking out over there?
Sorry.
Move over, kid. I'm taking your microphone.
You're shallow. You know that?
I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. I don't remember what the hell I do anymore. There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here in studio. We are live, although I'm personally here solo. Lucas with some occupational obligations, to put it in a somewhat professional term. Yeah, no, professional for me. There's a shocker, right? But a lot to get into in this very abbreviated episode, as we're only here with you until the bottom of the hour, 12:30, due to Phillies baseball and their broadcast obligations, since their opponents, the Mets, are on the verge of playoff contention, and it has playoff implications. The game that was scheduled for 7 o'clock tonight has been moved up to 1 o'clock, so therefore at 12:30 with the pregame, that's where we'll be off here. But a lot to get into in the fallout from the Clash of Champions, where even though I was slightly above 500, Lucas a lot more than slightly above 500, the gap narrows to 2 in our predictions certain to go wrong for 2016. Lucas going 6-1, getting all but the tag team championship match correct. Myself, I faltered in the Jericho-Zayn match as well as the Reigns-Rusev match, along with the tag championship. But a few things to get into over the course of this very brief episode, where we'll have the chance to converse with you at 215-949-3232 or toll free at 888-922-2149. Now certainly a good time to get in the very short time period that we have here. But some of the questions: what is the fate, the very fate of TNA Impact Wrestling? As that has been a question that has been going on for a little while now, but even more so as there have been suggestions and rumors and speculation that the company wouldn't even have enough money to fund its supposedly biggest pay-per-view of the year, Bound for Glory, which is supposed to be tomorrow evening, along with the television tapings for the next episodes upcoming. It seems as though the financial woes are just about coming to a head, but Billy Corgan, the president of Impact Wrestling, speaking with ESPN this week, saying that he's one of the folks looking to purchase the company outright, along with a little bit of a bidding war going on, where WWE is also interested in purchasing TNA Impact Wrestling, but not so much to keep the organization going, but WWE's sole interest is the video library so that they can create additional content for the WWE network and perhaps even some DVD sales on some of the stars who cut their teeth in TNA, who had the majority of their careers in TNA, to allow for a greater video package. Stars such as Samoa Joe or AJ Styles, Austin Aries, for example, Bobby Roode. I mean, they've been with Impact Wrestling for the majority of their careers. Even Sting, you can get a little bit more in his post-WCW career, pretty much from 2001 to 2015. You'd be able to get more by purchasing that, and that's what WWE is looking to do, whereas Billy Corgan is looking to not necessarily, he's not as concerned with the video library as he is keeping the organization afloat. And he said, speaking to ESPN, that if he is successful in his attempt to purchase the company, that he would change the name of TNA Impact Wrestling, stating, quote, "The ultimate success in business is really carving out a singular identity so that when people think of that identity, even if they don't like it, they see that as your own." He also adds, "I think that is infinitely more valuable than, yeah, I like them too." I never wanted to be in a band where people said, yeah, I like them too. You're either going to love us or hate us, but being in between is just not interesting to me. So looks like some radical ideas on the part of Billy Corgan. We'll see where that goes. The leader of the longtime band Smashing Pumpkins and now president of TNA Impact Wrestling. Also, in a follow-up from last week, WWE issuing a press release on Monday to announce new television deals in Germany. A new multi-year agreement was signed by Pro7 Sat.1 sports cluster, Sieben Sports, Sieben meaning 7, for those who aren't as fluent in German as I am. Not that I'm very fluent, but enough to get by. They will be televising Raw and SmackDown in German on Pro7 Max beginning in April 2017, and it marks the first time that both shows have aired on the same free-to-air channel in Germany. Pro7 Max will also serve as a marketing partner for WWE Live when they make appearances next month in Frankfurt, Munich, Oberhausen, and Berlin. Four cities in Germany there, for those of you who aren't up on your geography either. So you learn all kinds of stuff here on this show. Go figure. Also, this hour, WWE, or this half hour, I should say, WWE will be going back to the 70s this Monday, kind of. Also, the state of Raw's rating in the Union, and looking to turn the page on some injuries and a backstabbing of the unfortunate real kind. All that, plus room for your calls, your Facebook feedback as well. I should mention, because this is the first chance I've had to, that there is a new Facebook fan page for those who haven't had the chance to check it out yet or go to it while the other one is still active, since I'm, let's just say, unable to make adjustments to it. There is now Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 AM WBCB. That is your ticket to participate in the chatter, although I am able to monitor both groups, so if you happen to chat in the old one, you can certainly do so. But the new group, Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 AM WBCB, that is your way to get into the fray. And John from Northeast Philly, he's provided a few tidbits of information that we were going to get into, including the Royal Rumble finally announced their location. We'll let you know where and when that is coming up if you haven't seen it on the Facebook fan page. And a programming note for next week. I'm going to be broadcasting live on location from Darby O'Gill's in Morrisville. Should be a lot of fun. Sir Style will be back with us. He and the Last Warrior Grey Wolf were on the program a couple of weeks ago, promoting the upcoming event 2 weeks from tonight. That's going to be at the Fraternal Order of Eagles on 920 Trenton Road in Fairless Hills. It's Atlantic Pro Wrestling Fall Brawl. And the Last Warrior Grey Wolf, he'll be taking on the New Age Dracula Kindred. A lot of other matches set. I believe Corey Castle is going to be wrestling there as well. We'll hear a little bit more about that coming up in the next, in the next couple of weeks, definitely next week as well. But from noon to 1 next week, we should have the full show, and we will be on location at Darby O'Gill's Bar in Morrisville. That'd be 1698 Bristol Pike in Morrisville. So that should be a lot of fun. Atlantic Pro Wrestling, a little bit of discussion, perhaps after the fact, a little bit of a libation. We'll see, but that'll be a lot of fun. So head on out, join the action, join the conversation at Darby O'Gill's in Morrisville next Saturday. You know what? I was going to say we're already about halfway through the episode because time just flies on by that quickly here. But before we take care of our first set of business, let's go ahead and get to the phones where Ed from Northeast Philly's been hanging on. Ed, welcome to the program.
Good afternoon. October 29th in Darby, Pennsylvania, there's going to be a wrestling show. KCW presents Resurrection.
Okay, KCW on October 29th.
Yeah, that's Keystone Championship Wrestling.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with them. I know. I was gonna say I know him as Big Daddy from the Sixers, but
Dr. Ruthless.
yeah, Dr. Ruthless.
Yeah.
He's been a frequenter to that area there. Man, I haven't seen him in quite a while because it's been a bit since the Completely Damaged radio scene. Well, plus he was also on the mend with some sort of a lower body surgery. I want to say something with the leg or ankle, if I remember right. I've been following him on the social media. I just haven't had the chance to socially catch up with him. Maybe I should get to a Sixers game. That'd be a good time too, with him all in the gear and whatnot.
He's still on that show too.
Oh, the Big Quiche, nice. Certainly a lot of fun. Yeah, I was gonna say it was a lot of fun meeting him a little while back.
It doesn't sit. Wait a minute. I don't see the time on there.
Well, I'm sure that they'll
7:30.
I was gonna say that sounds about right.
Sometimes they print up these things and don't put the time on their posters.
I mean, sometimes these things happen, I suppose. I believe. Let's see. You said there was Resurrection.
Yes.
Looks like 6 p.m. is going to be the start time on that.
I didn't make up a full list because I wasn't sure if you were going to be in the studio this week.
You know what? Initially, I wasn't supposed to be, but then as the card is subject to change, sometimes too is the lineup. And initially, we were supposed to have a high school football game that was going to air at 12:45. So I was going to be on location at the MFPW Arena from noon until 12:45. But then the Phillies broadcast obligations, they shifted up from a 6:30 pregame to a 12:30 pregame. So now I'm on until 12:30, and I thought, well, rather than drag all of the remote equipment down for a 25-minute show, why not just be here in studio, here available to interact over the phone with the lovelies, as I'm so apt to do. But yeah, I do see. South Philly's Finest is on that card. I know they've wrestled a little bit for the MFPW, Jimmy Conway, and why am I drawing a blank on the? They're gonna put a hit on me if I don't remember this here. It's that's right, Jimmy Conway and Luca Brasi, of course. How could I forget Luca Brasi? Shame on me. But South Philly's Finest taking on Lance Anawai and Rikishi. That should be interesting for Keystone Championship Wrestling coming up 4 weeks from tonight.
And Ted DiBiase is in Quakertown tonight at 6 p.m. in York, Pennsylvania, for a WWA event.
Oh, Triple WAs? Okay. They got DiBiase out there. Very nice.
St. John's Gym.
Okay, St. John's Gym out in York, PA. There's a lot of different things going on. I was going to say that's today. We've got the MFPW. I'll be talking a little bit more about that coming up. Goodness, we've only got about 12 minutes left. It's amazing how time just flies on the show.
That's about it.
All righty, Ed. Thank you so much for the look at the local scene. I want to say we should be back in studio 3 weeks from today, as next week will be at Darby O'Gill's, and then the following week we should be at the MFPW Arena. But I believe on the 22nd we should be back in studio, although that will be a glorious day for another reason, which I'll let you know about that as well in just a moment on the other side here. Let's go ahead and I know. I'm always indecisive when we have these last-minute changes here. We'll get into a little bit more of the news and notes, and then we'll take our break coming up here pretty shortly. WWE announcing that actors Ashton Kutcher and Danny Masterson will be guest stars on the October 3rd edition of Raw. That's this coming Monday in Los Angeles, California at the Staples Center. The duo have issues with Chris Jericho's character and will be on Raw to promote their Netflix comedy, The Ranch. Now, Kutcher and Masterson, you might have known them previously from when they worked on the sitcom That 70s Show. See, going back to the 70s, see what I did there? Although WWE seeming to go back to the mid-90s with their ratings, this past Monday's Raw scoring a 1.75 rating, down from the 1.97 from the previous week. But this time, you can't entirely blame Monday Night Football, as the football ratings were down 36% as well. The low numbers were due to the U.S. presidential debate, which drew more than 80 million viewers. Of course, between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, and that's as far into the political spectrum as you're going to hear me go on this show, because I don't feel like I'm not going there. I'm keeping it simple. It is the second lowest rated Raw in the history of the show, worsted only by the Christmas edition of Raw on December 23rd, 1996. So we'll go ahead and take care of our one and only timeout here. We'll come back into a little bit more news and notes, also birthdays, today in wrestling history in this very abbreviated edition of Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
The brand new Pat Dion Beverages is now open and is your complete beer distributor. At Pat Dion Beverages, you'll find both domestic and imported beer, ice, party snacks, and more. Pat Dion Beverages has a huge walk-in refrigerator, so you can have your beer ice cold. Pat Dion Beverages also has a large selection of the finest cigars. Pennsylvania Lottery is also available. They're open 7 days a week. The brand new Pat Dion Beverages is now open in Dion Square at South Olds Boulevard and South Oxford Valley Roads. Stop in today.
I'm Jean Coyle, President and CEO of Penn Community Bank, the second largest mutual bank in Pennsylvania. Our boardroom conversations focus on our customers and the markets we serve. Starting at the top, this focus moves throughout our powerhouse community bank. You will feel the difference in our 22 branch locations with our lenders, our investment advisors, and our insurance experts. Check out what it means to be a mutual at penncommunitybank.com.
All commentators heard on WBCB express their own views. Their opinions are not necessarily those of others on WBCB, including the staff and management.
Join Chapel Ministries on Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. for A Time in the Chapel, a 1-hour non-denominational in-depth Bible teaching. Join them as they explore various topics and learn more about God in your life and you in His plan. Call 484-533-7173. A Time in the Chapel, a service of Chapel Ministries, Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. on WBCB 1490 a.m.
McFadden's at Citizens Bank Park is open year-round and has become the area's premier sports and dining destination. McFadden's at the ballpark is the perfect place to meet pregame, postgame, or to watch the game, even when your team is out of town. And during Phillies games, enjoy $3 Bud and Bud Light drafts after the 7th inning. McFadden's is also the home of the cheesesteak nachos. McFadden's at the third base gate at Citizens Bank Park. On the web at mcfaddensballpark.com.
Brain, spine, and back disorders are life-changing, often leaving you alone to seek answers only to be rushed through an assembly line office. The compassionate doctors at Princeton Brain and Spine Care have a mission. It's their duty and goal to treat your condition with the care that you deserve and with the care that you need to get better. At Princeton Brain and Spine Care, your quality of life is their best reward. Visit them online at PrincetonBrainandSpine.com or call 215-741-3141.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, October 1. On this date in 2000, ECW held its Anarchy Rules pay-per-view. In the main event, Jerry Lynn pinned Just Incredible to win the ECW World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 2001, WWF Monday Night Raw aired live from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. In the main event, Kurt Angle defeated Shane McMahon by submission. On this date in 2003, the NWA TNA held its weekly pay-per-view number 63. In the main event, Dusty Rhodes and Jeff Jarrett defeated AJ Styles and Vince Russo in a tag team match. On this date in 2007, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Cleveland, Ohio. In the main event, John Cena defeated Mr. Kennedy by submission. This has been Today in Wrestling History, October 1. Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you, flying solo today and flying low and short here as we've only got about 5 minutes here left in the episode. So let's get right back into the news and notes before we make our way to Phillies baseball. Paige, fresh off of her suspension for the wellness policy violation, she's continuing to have neck issues, noting on Twitter, quote, "Been quiet for a while, time to get the neck fixed so I can come back and kick some ass." She added that she met with a doctor who gave her 2 different surgery options to consider. No further word on which direction she's going with that. Also, the TNA Impact Bound for Glory pay-per-view and next week's television tapings are expected to take place as scheduled. I know there was a lot of speculation over the course of the week. TNA executive Dixie Carter addressing the situation on Twitter, saying, "I don't make it a habit to reply to speculation, but I'll say if you're close to Orlando this Sunday and to Saturday, you do not want to miss these tapings." So, looks like they found some sort of a financial backer who, I guess we'll have to stick around and find out. Also, WWE announcing yesterday that the Royal Rumble will be held on January 29th, 2017 at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. Tickets go on sale to the general public on Friday, October 14th. And in some disheartening news, WWE producer Jamie Noble hospitalized after being stabbed twice, according to ProWrestlingSheet.com. Noble was at the Shadowwood Mobile Home Park in West Virginia when a driver pulled up and accused him of cutting him off on the road. The driver and Noble ended up having a physical altercation despite Noble apologizing, and 2 passengers got out of the other driver's car, and Noble ended up being stabbed in the upper and mid-back. Got to let you know, it's a good night for a roast at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. On tap, the Fools and Kings Belgian Double and Nick's Roast Beef food truck will be in the lot. And we're just 3 weeks away from Hoppy Halloween 3, a beer fest that celebrates the best libations available in Bucks County and the surrounding areas. Tickets more than half sold out. Get yours at hoppyhalloweenbeerfest.com. It's Saturday, October 22nd from 5 until 9 p.m. More breweries, music, vendors, surprises, and more porta potties as well. 25 breweries and other libation areas have already been announced, and that also includes mead and cider for those who aren't necessarily beer drinkers. It's always a good time at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Broken Goblet Brewing, the semi-official brewery of Pro Wrestling Weekly. And tonight is a huge event at the MFPW Arena, 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro. Rory Gulak, younger brother of Drew Gulak, who has been a part of the Cruiserweight Classic and the Cruiserweight division in WWE on Raw. He makes his debut at the MFPW. He'll be facing Anthony Bennett. Plus, Cody Vance will defend the MF Live Championship against former champion Mikey Webb. And the Money in the Miles challenge the Beast Cartel for the MFPW Tag Team Championship. All going down tonight at the MFPW, presented by the world-famous Monster Factory, 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey. The doors open at 6. The action starts at 7. And make sure you check out the MFPW and all things Monster Factory on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Plus at monsterfactory.org. And check out past matches, bios, bloopers, and more at the mfnetwork.com. So we've got about a minute and a half left. So it's time for
Birthdays!
Thank you, Lucas. Let's get right into it here. On this date in 1954, Hector Manuel Guerrero Llanes was born. The former TNA Spanish color commentator and wrestler from the famed Guerrero family, best known for portraying the Gobbledygooker, turns 62 today. Also on this date in 1961, Americo Sebastiano Costantino was born. The former 2-time WWE Tag Team Champion and manager best known as Rico Costantino turns 55 today. Also on this date in 1979, Joseph Curtis Hennig was born. The former WWE Intercontinental Champion and Tag Team Champion best known as Curtis Axel turns 37 today. Finally on this date in 1983, Robert Strauss, the former TNA X Division Champion, Television Champion, and Tag Team Champion known as Robbie E, turns 33 today. And as far as the Brucey bonus, on this date in 1924, James Earl Carter Jr. was born, the 39th President of the United States from 1977 to 1981, and the second oldest living president of the 5 currently still with us, turns 92 today. Thank you for listening to this abbreviated program. Stay tuned. Phillies baseball is next here on 1490 WBCB, Levittown, Fairless Hills, Trenton.